Hi guys, and welcome to my review of the NICEHCK F1. This is NICEHCK's attempt at the planar game, and well done. I'll say that much for now. It uses this bullet style of format, similar to the Duno, the Talos. 2-pin connector, 14.2mm driver, which by the performance that it yields, I am assuming that it's probably the same driver that we find in the P1 Max, that we find as well in the same family of the S12, in the same family as the Wu Zetian. Anyway, that's the box. Usual NICEHCK presentation. So that opens up like that. Okay, the IMs themselves came over there. Plenty tips. It brings these adjustment nozzles, which I'm actually going to leave them outside so I can explain. So plenty tips brings these ones, which are like kind of Sony styled, and these ones are the usual KB-ear, BGVP, NICEHCK, Akustone style tips, which I personally am a big fan of, and I'm actually using as well on the F1. Anyway, that's the tips. I'm just going to leave this outside here so I can explain. As I was saying, excuse me. Leave that over here. Case, usual. I mean, it's very common. We've seen this case plenty of times with many brands. KB-ear uses it, Tri uses it, Mangad uses them, Yanyan uses them, so nothing out of the ordinary there. Nice finish off on the inside. IM fits perfectly inside with the cable, no issues. As for the IMs themselves, as I was saying, brings decent enough cable. I mean, it's fine. I've seen this IM at quite a wide range of prices. I've seen it ranging from $140 to $180. So yeah, it's fine in terms of its accessories. Be it one price or the other, it's fine. Obviously, you want to make the best deal possible. So I'll give you the links so you can get it for the cheaper amount. The IMs themselves, this bullet style, kind of the TIN T2, TIN T4, Duno Talos, TFZ, Tequila Pro kind of vibe. And they, in my case, they fit fine. The only thing that I had to obviously play around a little bit with to make sure that it would stay in my ear is with the tip itself. And I tried not only the 08, okay, but I also tried the 07s in large and in medium, as you can see here, large and medium, okay, and the 08s in large. Okay, now, what did I use to power it? I used the Ibasso DC06 deck with the ESS chips. I used the AP90 with the AKM 4493. I also used the Shanling with the AKM, and I also used the AP98 with the 198 chip as well. NX7, I also briefly had it hooked up to the TK2 and my DX3 Pro. But majority of the listening was done with these two dongle decks, serving as the intermedium between the actual NX7. Why the NX7? Just in case some of you might want to know, because I just like the neutrality the NX7 has. I find it's one of those amps that it's got more than enough power to handle any IEM that I have. Even the P1 Maxes, which are power hungry, as some of you might know from what I've said before, and it's one of those amps because it's so neutral, so transparent. Whatever deck you connect up to it, it immediately their signature transpires quite easily. Okay, so that's what I used. In terms of the IEMs or the planars that I used, I basically took the creme of the creme. S12 Pro, and again I'm going to say, and I'm going to repeat it, this S12 Pro, and I know at least now of another 3 people that have also graphed, this S12 Pro is tamer than the S12. I mean, I'm going to say this as many times as it's needed. It's tamer, and I'll show you the graph just now. It doesn't have that peakiness that we found in the original, the stock S12, around the 5, 6, 7, 8K. That energy that it has there, it doesn't have it. It's tamer. It's way more pleasant to listen. Okay, so that's why I listen. That's why I actually got this one out and not the S12. Okay, obviously the Wuzetian had to be here. It's normal, and then those two, let's put them in the let's say the warmer sounding planars, okay, and then on the not colder sounding, let's put it on the more neutral sounding planar end. Neutral bright here for the Talus, and neutral for the P1 Max. I've just said them, the Duno Talus and the P1 Max. Every one of them has been reviewed by me. Every one of them, I like them for specific reasons. I can understand where they're coming from. And, you know, at the end of the day, it basically depends on what is your amount of money that you have to spend and how far you can stretch yourself. And obviously, of course, not all of you will be crazy like me and buy all of them, but you will have to choose one. So, you know, choose wisely. If you have the opportunity to listen to all of them, listen to them, try them out with your music, with your tips. Don't take my word for it. I'm just one person, and I just try and as well as I possibly can to convey my experience that I have. Having said all of that, so where does the NICEHCK F1 stand? The NICEHCK F1 is a kind of love child between the Wuzetian and the S12. Why? Because it has very much, let me just rewind a little bit. Both of these, be it the Wuzetian and the S12, are known for having good bass. The one that has ultimately the best bass is the Wuzetian because of that extra depth, that extra ability to go and fetch rumbles, okay, the sub bass. This, a little bit less, but both of them are bass monsters. They can really, I mean, Michael Bruce has proven it time and time again that the S12 is an absolute animal, and his Prometheus mod is well, I'm not even going to say if that mod ever actually reaches production in a big enough scale, I think that it's gonna make some damage. It's definitely gonna make some damage. But anyway, back to what we have here. So bass is not an issue there. The bass of the NICEHCK is right up there with the bass of these. It's equally as textured. It's equally as deep. It's fast. It's detailed. It does layering, everything. The bass of the NICEHCK is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Excuse me, sorry guys. In terms of the mids, or rather, the transition from the sub bass into the mid bass, perfect. Transition into the mids, perfect. Nothing to be said. No bleed. Nothing. It's really, really, really good. Going on to the mids, very nice. It's a kind of a signature which is more pending towards the signature of the S12 Pro. Okay, it's a little bit less bright than the Wuzetian, and when I show you the graphs you'll see that, although we're not talking huge differences here, but it's less bright. Graphically the difference is more than what you actually then hear in real life. And then the highs have got just again the right amount of extension and the right amount of energy for you to say, now this is a planar that I'm listening to. So there's no doubt that when you listen to any one of these IEMs here, there's absolutely no doubt that you're listening to a planar driver. Perhaps the one that will camouflage that planar timbre the best is the Wuzetian because of the way that it's been tuned. Okay, because of the way it's been tuned, it camouflages that. So all of this to say what? That in terms of its frequency coherence, it's been exquisitely well done. The NICEHCK is perfect in that aspect. In terms of its technicalities, decent soundstage, decent imaging, decent detail retrieval, decent tonality and timbre. By saying decent across the board, I realize I'm not saying much, but okay, compared to these, all right. It doesn't have the ultimate detailed retrieval of a Duno Talus, but then the Talus doesn't have the bass this has, okay? So I would say that it has the detailed retrieval, for example, of the S12, all right? Soundstage and imaging. It doesn't have the soundstage and the imaging of, again, the Talus or the Wuzetian, but it's not far behind. It trades blows, okay? Tonality, for me personally, the one that I still think is the one that pleases my preferences the most is the P1 Max. That's the one that for me is got the most natural tonality for me. But all of them have got very good tonality. All of them, very good timbre, and this one sits right on there. It's excellent. It's very, very well done as well. There's no real occasion where I say, okay, no, this is wrong. Now, having said what I just said, this applies to the usage of the stock filter, because the NICEHCK has a little trick up its sleeve. So these filters, the same as on the TRN Kirin, these filters are substitutable. You can take them out and change them for these ones that come along, all right? There's a black and there's a gold. There we go. All right. Now, this is the one that I did all my listening. And this is the one that I like. This is the one that I recommend. All right. The other two, the black and the gold, one emphasizes the gold. One emphasizes the initial pinna gain and gives it a boost of about 4 dBs, I would say. Is it good? Is it bad? Well, it depends on your taste. Personally, I didn't like it. It makes things a little bit edgy and unpleasant. The rest of the signature basically remains itself the same. The black gives a bass boost. So it gives a bass boost across the bass of maybe about 2-3 dBs, 4 maybe at points, maybe. And then it dips and it kind of shuts down the whole pinna gain and then picks up again to just kind of match the upper end. So let's say 5, 6, 7, that part. So it's I would say it's again wrong because it makes the F1 very dark. But the truth is this: it's the first time that I've seen in a planar filters actually doing their job. Okay, we've seen filters and nozzle filters and front vent filters in many IEMs before. The BQYZ Autumn is one that uses them very well and it works very well. The BGVP Melody also has them and it actually also works quite well. You do see and you do notice differences. In a planar, in the TRN, the Kirin, you didn't really notice anything, honestly. Nothing that was easy to pick up and noticeable. But on here, with the filters that the NICEHCK have given us, yes, it's very easy to notice, very easy to pick up on their different characteristics. Nevertheless, I didn't use them. I listened to them for the purpose of seeing what they were going to be like, and I left them with the silver filter, which is the best. So yeah, basically I think I've covered that end. Frequency coherency is done very well. It has that initial pin again, you'll see in the graph now, and then it maintains itself pretty flat, has a couple of related peak there and then drops off, but very nice, very, very nicely done. Technically as well, very capable. What are the flaws, or what are the details which are not as good? Well, first of all, the fit will be something of an issue for some people, because not only is it this shape, okay, but also the nozzle length is quite short. So in contrast, the nozzle length of the Wuzetian, you can see, is much longer, so it will allow for a secure fit. So that there is something that you must consider. Changing the tips from this 08 BGVP to the, for example, the wide bore 07s over there, what it does is this is more neutral in the 6, 7, 8K area. That there boosts that area slightly. Those tips boost. Is the boost detrimental? No, it's not detrimental. Maybe with some music you will find that can be the case. Personally, I didn't find it to be the case. I found it to always maintain itself very much composed, especially with what I listen to, and you guys already have basically an idea of what I like listening to. But everything, I mean, even one of the songs that I very much enjoyed listening to in the F1 was Sunrise, the live version from Larry Carlton. Spectacular. That's all I'm going to say. What You're Going to Do from Frank McComb again, spectacular, and then a few other songs that surprised me quite, in a very positive manner. Unconditional from Soul Persona. Actually, a lot of the songs from Soul Persona I'm a big fan of. Excuse me. Rock With Me, J-Funk, again, very nice. Starlight Scene from Yellow, very nice. Don't Leave Me Lonely from Mark Ronson and Yeba, very nice. It's a very, if for example, when I reviewed, and if you guys saw that review, when I reviewed the Dawn from Seek Real, I said that, it tried to do everything, but that extra brightness was detrimental, and the same thing again applied to a certain extent with the Dunukima. It tried to do do everything, but then it kind of seemed a little bit too soft, too tame, too safe, and kind of lacked a little bit of engagement. The F1, in my opinion, it does everything, and all the music that I listen to, it did it beautifully. Granted, I didn't listen to a lot of rock, I didn't listen to a lot of classic, because I don't usually do that, and if there is any songs that you guys would like me to listen to, I'll gladly do it. But from the little bit of classic and rock that I listened to, it again was, in my opinion, in my book, was fine. So how do I then grade it? How is it placed, or where does it stand? Well, the issue that I think could be of a problem is that it has come to the part, the F1 has arrived at the party of planars, excuse me, a little bit on the late side. And if you are going to be pushing close to $190, you have other contenders, and we now have a new Zetyan as well coming out, and so you have to. So my first rec would be, let the price of the NICEHCK stay below the $150 mark. Below the $150 mark, it is more than capable to trade blows with the S12, more than capable to trade blows with all the other, with all those other planars that are available, Talos, P1, all of them. Price is just the issue here. The only issue here with the F1 truly, okay, for it to be more successful or less successful, is the price. Because in terms of its sonic performance, I think it will satisfy. It will be more than pleasing. So if you like the S12, if you like the Zetyan and that type of sound, even the HUKEX, this will satisfy. Not a problem. If you want, obviously, a more detailed, more linear sounding, then this is not the one to go for. You go for the Yoko, you go for the Talos, or you go for the P1 Max. And that's that, guys. I mean, it's definitely a rec. I definitely recommend it. But like I say, if you can, have a listen to them. Some of you are lucky enough to live in places of this world that allow us to actually walk into stores that have all of these IEMs. So if you are in one of those places, have a listen. Make sure you take your tips that you like using, that fit well with you. Try them out, because tips are something that will make or break this IEM. Well, any IEM, but this IEM as well. And that's that. Okay, I'll show you now the graphs. So catch you in a second. Take care. Hi guys, and welcome to the graph section of the NICEHCK F1, and this is the graph of the F1. As you can see, this is using the white tip of the wide bore white tip medium size. Okay, that's how it graphs. If I use the large size, that's how it graphs. It changes a little bit here, the energy around this 5, 6, 7K area. I mean, this is just a couple of related over there, so but it just gives it a little bit more energy. I would say another 2-3 dBs there, but nothing that's really noticeable, honestly. Anyway, the tip that I ended up using, as you guys might have seen, was the BGVP, the 08, which is this tip, and that's the tip I'm actually going to leave on for the rest of this comparison here. Take away, and I just like the way that it performed. I just like the way that it married everything. Sits within a nice 76, 84. Excuse me. So everything sits within a nice tight barrier or band. Sorry. So it isn't even fair to a certain extent to say that this is a V-shaped signature or anything of the sort. No, I think this is a warm neutral signature. Anyway, comparing to the other IEMs that I brought out straight away, let me compare it with the where are we? With the Wuzetian. There we go. That's it. That's compared to the Wuzetian. Let me just align it there perfectly. There we are. And as you can see, in terms of the bass, it's basically the same. Only below 40-50 hertz do we see a little bit more of energy on the Wuzetian, and we're talking maybe like 2-3 dBs, nothing really too outrageous. But it's in this midsection here that you see that the NICEHCK is a little bit more subdued, although you see differences here of as much as 4-5 dBs, almost 4 dBs. It's not as noticeable as one would think when you actually listen to it, and the similarity between the tuning is very similar, as you can see, very similar. And that's one of the reasons why the F1 is also so good. So that's the Wuzetian there, compared to the S12 Pro, which has been one that has been generating a lot of talk lately. Again, as you can see, the bass is almost identical. I mean, nothing, and it's just this difference here. And it's curious that when I was actually using the widebore tip, so when I not this one, sorry, the widebore, don't tell me I erased the widebore. Oh my god, don't tell me I erased the widebore. No, I didn't. I believe it's this one here. Yes, when I used the widebore tip on the F1, I really could not distinguish between it and the S12 Pro. Honestly, I really couldn't. And that, I think, is a real testament to how good and how well tuned it is. I love the S12 Pro. I think it's got just that reduction that was necessary in this area here for things not to be maybe too bright or too shouty or too harsh, as some people complain. So the upper mids presence, early treble area there, and yeah, that's it. So let me just go back to what I had before. So that's the S12 Pro there. Taking away the S12 Pro now, compared to the P1 Max. P1 Max, there we go, P1. That is, as you can see, neutral, really neutral. But the P1 Max is one of those IEMs that when you really give it power, it shines. It really shines. And as you can see, it's not really over here in the mids where the differences are. It's in the bass, and you notice it. I mean, if it's a song that doesn't have a lot of bass, you once again you will be hard pressed to distinguish between one and the other. But the moment the song has a little bit more bass or a little bit more info in that area, you will pick up straight away which is the F1 and which is the P1 Max. But again, I repeat, P1 Max, amazing. F1, the same thing, amazing. These are really very, very good planars. The selection I made of planars here are all very good. They're all very good. Finally, where is the Duno? There we go, Duno Talos. Just align it. And again, it's not so much here where we see huge differences. No, it's here in the way that the bass has been done in such a subdued manner, okay, in such a relaxed manner, that obviously makes this whole area shine, and the details come across better, more clearly. But the one takeaway message I want to give is the following. If we look, okay, let me put again the P1. Let's put again the, where is it? The S12. I'm actually going to change the color of the S12 so you can see it better and make it a nice green. There we go. So put the S12 on there, and the Wuzetian. Where is the Wuzetian, my friend? There we go. The Wuzetian. Let's change the color as well. Let's make it purple. There we go. Okay, and plonking the Wuzetian. There we go. When you look at all of them together, you can see that the majority of them are very similar. Very similar. The differences being the Wuzetian, which has this extra amount of energy in this midsection, okay, of 2, 3, 4, 5K, and the S12, which has that little boost over there as well, which is also something which you find on the Talos, a little bit of a boost. But overall, this kind of signature, it's more or less, but it's kind of always in the same ballpark of the same idea. And again, in terms of the bass, the same thing. 3 of them, as you can see, which is the F1, the S12 Pro, and the Wuzetian, they all have the same bass. I mean, those 3 up to about 2K, they are copy paste of each other. You know, okay, that's it. And then the other 2, obviously, the more neutral ones. And all of this to say what? All of this to say what I've already said a couple of times, which is, you know, it's very difficult for me as a reviewer to come out and say every single time, no, this IEM outdoes that one, this IEM, no, because there is a lot of really well-tuned IEMs. There's a lot of garbage out there as well, but there's a lot of really good IEMs. And when I am confronted with this kind of stuff, what am I going to say? I'm going to say, oh, this one is not good, that one is good. No, it's all going to depend on you as an individual. It's all going to depend on what you like listening, you know, how your ear anatomy is. I mean, for me, the F1 is fantastic. One of the best planars I've heard today, period. It has impressed me more than, for example, the HAKUGEI. The F1 impressed me more than the HAKUGEI. There, I've said it. That doesn't mean that the HAKUGEI isn't good. But someone out there might actually take the F1, shove it into the ears and say, oh my God, this is horrible. Tony, what is wrong with you? Have you been smoking some crack? You know, the HAKUGEI is miles better. So that's why I was saying, you know what? Go out, listen to them. If it sounds good to you, that's what matters. That is what ultimately matters. If you put your music and it sounds good to you in your ears with your tips, perfect. You've hit a home run. All right. Anyway, guys, as always, like and subscribe. Any questions that you might have, please feel free to ask. And I promise I will do my very best to answer, as I always do. All right. You take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.